What's your best fire me? I freaking dare you moment from work. I worked at this high-end steakhouse called The Reserve, where I was the only server who could properly handle their wine program. We had this massive $50,000 wine collection with bottles dating back to the 1960s. I spent 2 years learning every single vintage, region, and food pairing. Customers would specifically request me because I could recommend the perfect wine for their meal and budget. My new manager, Brad, was this ego-driven guy in his early 30s who got promoted after 6 months of kissing up to corporate. He came from casual dining and had zero wine knowledge, but acted like he knew everything. Brad hated that customers always asked for me specifically and that I made better tips than servers who had been there longer. The guy would constantly micromanage me during service. He'd hover around my tables making snide comments about how I was taking too long explaining wine options. Just sell them the expensive stuff and move on, he'd whisper. You're not giving a college lecture, but wine service isn't fast food. These customers were spending $300 to $500 on dinner. They deserved proper attention and expertise. I'd built relationships with regulars over years and they trusted my recommendations completely. One busy Saturday night, this regular customer, Mr. Rodriguez, came in with his wife to celebrate their 25th wedding anniversary. He asked for a specific 1998 Bordeaux that he'd been saving for this exact occasion. I knew we were down to our last bottle and it was stored in our temperature-controlled cellar. I went downstairs to carefully retrieve it. This particular wine was worth $800 and needed to be handled like precious cargo. Any sudden movement or temperature change could ruin decades of aging. Brad saw me taking my time and completely lost it. He stormed over and snapped, "Stop babying the bottles, Johnson. You're taking forever. Just grab it and go." I tried explaining that this wine was irreplaceable and worth more than most people's rent. He rolled his eyes dramatically. "It's just fermented grape juice. Stop acting like you're performing surgery. Move faster or I'll find someone who will." Mr. Rodriguez overheard every word from his nearby table. His face went from excited to horrified. Other customers started turning to look at the commotion developing. That's when something inside me snapped. I had my moment. I carefully set the precious bottle down on the nearest table, slowly untied my apron, and announced loudly enough for the entire dining room to hear, "Ladies and gentlemen, Brad here thinks your $800 anniversary wine is just fermented grape juice. He believes anyone can do my job, so he'll be personally handling all wine service for the rest of the evening." The entire dining room went dead silent. You could hear the classical music playing in the background. Every single customer was staring at Brad, whose face had turned bright red. Mr. Rodriguez immediately stood up. "Excuse me, but we specifically made this reservation because of Johnson's wine expertise. If he's not serving us, we're leaving." 3 other tables immediately asked for their checks. The anniversary couple walked out without ordering anything. Within 30 minutes, the owner showed up after getting multiple phone calls from upset customers. Brad tried explaining that I was being dramatic, but the damage was done. Regular customers were threatening to never return. The owner pulled me aside and asked what really happened. I explained Brad's attitude toward the wine program and how he'd been undermining my service for weeks. Turns out several customers had already complained about the decline in service quality since Brad took over. Monday morning, I came back to find a promotion to head sommelier and a 40% raise. Brad was transferred to the lunch shift at their budget location across town, where the most expensive wine was $30. Sometimes the best revenge is letting someone destroy themselves in front of the people who matter most. The funny thing is, Brad never learned his lesson and got fired from that location too within 3 months for similar attitude problems with customers.